is so much more than just an app for dumb TikTok dances.
Has ByteDance spied on American citizens?
I don't think that spying is the right way to describe it.
Ni hao, it's your Chinese spy.
Most of the reasons the government banned it were based on accusations, not proof.
The whole point of this ban was not to actually get rid of TikTok.
What if TikTok getting banned is not the worst thing that could happen to us?
So I'm a full-time TikToker and all my income's gonna be gone.
You will be destroying the American dream.
And just like that, for now and the foreseeable future, TikTok is gone from America and America is gone from TikTok.
So I was in the middle of editing this video when TikTok came back online after only 14 hours. So I already filmed the video, but everything still applies. But TikTok is still technically banned because it's not in the App Store. So the law banning it is still in effect. So I basically go through and I cover the whole story of TikTok from its very beginning up until now. How did it get banned? This story honestly just keeps getting crazier and crazier by the minute. So I'm already working on a part 2 and I will be uploading that soon. So subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to be notified when that comes out. So without further ado, let's go back to TikTok's origins. All the way back to 2016 to the beloved Vine. Vine didn't last long, but it was wildly popular when it was around. And we learned something big from Vine. Short-form content works. So when Vine got shut down, it opened up a major gap in the market, and TikTok satisfied that itch. But before TikTok came Musical.ly. Let's not forget about Musical.ly. Musical.ly was an app famous for its lip-syncing videos, accompanied by dramatic hand and camera movements, known for creators like Baby Ariel and Lauren Gray. I was also a muser myself, unfortunately, and I remember that day in 2018 when suddenly the logo on the app changed to the TikTok logo, and thus began TikTok in America.
Musical.ly disappeared, and we were all so happy. And then, TikTok just appeared out of nowhere!
The app quickly got attention from PewDiePie, who was at the height of his popularity and the biggest YouTuber at the time. He made videos making fun of TikTok, and he encouraged his subscribers to go troll the app, much to the dismay of the musers.
Okay, the bullying on this app has gotten way out of hand.
I think there needs to be a parental contact on TikTok.
This was a pretty nostalgic era for those of us who were there. Unbearably cringe in hindsight, but at the time, it was beautiful. Over time, TikTok began to find a voice of its own. Dance videos began to replace lip syncing, and the comedy began to evolve beyond people just eating chips. And in 2020, the user base exploded. In the following 4 years, TikTok would skyrocket to popularity and become immensely successful. So successful, in fact, that Instagram and YouTube wanted in on the fun. So Instagram released Reels and YouTube released Shorts as competitors. Now it looks like those competitors will be its replacements. More on that later. But let's go back to 2020. In August, Trump signs a deadline for a 90-day ban or sell on TikTok. This is August of 2020. That means TikTok will be banned unless they decide to sell their company to a US-based owner. Under this pressure, TikTok ends up making a deal with a US-based company, Oracle, as their trusted technology partner to ensure security of US data. Then Biden gets elected, extends all deadlines, people kind of forget about it, until 2022 when TikTok has some scandals. According to leaked videos, ByteDance employees are accessing users' private info. That very same month, Oracle finally begins storing all user data from TikTok in the US, but the damage has been done, and soon after, TikTok CEO Shou Zi Chew participates in a congressional hearing, and Congress decides to support the ban. Then, in spring of 2024, a new ban or sell law is passed, this time with the deadline of January 19th. And you know how that went. TikTok did not sell, the law was ruled constitutional by the Supreme Court, and on the 19th, TikTok went dark.
So you're telling me 170 million people want to keep something, but 9 US justices say no. So it's 150 million versus 9. And the 9 win.
Why did the government want to ban TikTok? Well, there are two main concerns: data privacy and content manipulation. Let's start with data privacy. Okay, the government is afraid of TikTok collecting American data. TikTok is a Chinese-owned company. So pretty early on, TikTok got banned from government devices, but whether that was because of legitimate security concerns or because government employees were wasting too much of their time on TikTok, no one can know for sure. But also remember, TikTok partnered with Oracle to secure American data way back in 2020. That means they're storing all their data in Texas and it's being overseen by American employees. But it doesn't matter because Congress doesn't believe him.
Our plan is to move American data stored on American soil.
The Chinese government has that data. How can you promise that will move into the United States of America and be protected here?
Congresswoman, I have seen no evidence that the Chinese government has access to that data. They have never asked us. We have not provided.
Well, you know what?
I
find that actually preposterous.
Maybe Shou is a really good actor, but I think he seems nice enough. He's also not even from China, but Congress doesn't believe that either.
You said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
You have a Singaporean passport.
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Maybe they're trying to catch him in some sort of contradiction here, but it's not working and they're just making themselves look stupid. And like, I'm not trying to say this app doesn't have any issues, but like these people, these politicians who we have put in charge of making laws and running our country do not understand how technology works.
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
You will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
These are the people that we're letting pass laws about technology. This is embarrassing. The data collection argument, although probably legitimate, also starts to fall apart when you realize that American companies are also taking our data. And not only that, but they actually have confirmed data sharing partnerships with Chinese companies that are deemed national security risks. The difference is that not only are American companies profiting from it, they can also access that data themselves. And hey, if I'm really trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here, they also have control over what data they share with China or what data they don't. But this isn't just about data collection. This is about control of the algorithm and ownership of the narrative.
TikTok is a huge national security concern. I can't think of a potentially more powerful propaganda tool.
Propaganda tool? Did he just say propaganda tool? I'm sorry, sir. I thought the national security threat was in terms of data collection.
So the other major concern that the government has about TikTok is content manipulation and censorship on TikTok. Specifically the power that TikTok has to control the conversation through their algorithm. Conversations about the TikTok ban actually originated in 2019 around the time of the Hong Kong protests, when TikTok was censoring information that was sensitive to China. That's how we found out that TikTok was able to control the conversation around certain topics, and that's when we got scared. Look, it is kind of scary that TikTok, affiliated with China, can control the conversation and manipulate the algorithm on an app or whatever. But the thing is that Facebook and Instagram do the exact same thing. This also really gets taken to an extreme when politicians start to say that TikTok is brainwashing its American citizens and turning them against their own government, when really it's the government turning us against the government when the government tries to ban TikTok. When it comes to what conversations are being controlled exactly, one example that people cite is the Israel-Palestine conflict. I'm not going to go into depth on that in this video, but just know that the government didn't like the specific ideas that TikTok was spreading around. But were those ideas that Xi Jinping himself was trying to spread, or were they just what people were thinking anyway? Is TikTok what happens when algorithms are not controlled by domestic companies which also have their own agendas? Or is the TikTok algorithm actually biased towards foreign interests? So the US doesn't like that TikTok can control the narrative, but it's okay when a US company does the same thing. And that's exactly why the ban wasn't a ban, it was a ban or sell. Remember, if TikTok sells all or part of its company to a US-based owner, it won't be banned. They were never gonna do that. They still aren't gonna do that. They've explicitly stated that they won't sell. I mean, TikTok has over 1 billion users worldwide, so 100 or 200 million Americans won't make a huge dent to their bottom line. Now that we've covered the reasons for the ban, let's talk about what this means for the 170 million TikTok users in the country. If I'm being completely honest, I was not a big TikTok fan until last month when I found out that TikTok was probably going to be banned soon. I was one of the OGs back in 2017, not to brag. But since then, I found it a little too addicting, overwhelming, and mildly brain rotting. But when I found out TikTok was getting banned, I thought, you know what? I should just get in on the fun while I can. Because you know what? I was there at the beginning, so I might as well see it off. So I decided to restart my TikTok career. I got on that TikTok grind and I was wildly successful. So I'd just like to thank all my loyal TikTok fans for getting me to this point. I've also urgently been trying to watch every TikTok before TikTok is gone forever, because you know what? If I get addicted, it doesn't matter. TikTok was going to be gone in a couple days anyway. But unintentionally, I started really getting into it. I'm not gonna lie. I guess that's the whole point of TikTok, is to get you addicted. And I definitely fell for it. And in the final week of TikTok, I was seeing all these TikTokers talking about the ban. And you know what? It was sad.
It sucks that I'm gonna lose 4.1 million of you guys. I mean, you've made my dreams come true. And none of this would be possible without you guys.
I know it's kind of silly because it's just a social media platform, but if YouTube was getting shut down, I'd be pretty upset. But the worst part is the people who are losing their jobs because of TikTok. I know that sounds completely ridiculous to those of you who don't use TikTok, and it sounded kind of ridiculous to me too at first. There's a lot of Americans who have small businesses on TikTok.
5 million businesses that use TikTok to reach their customers, and the majority of these are small and medium businesses. And I'm so thankful to all of you and the 7,000 TikTok employees in the US.
So a lot of these people are getting a big portion of their income from TikTok. And we're just talking like average middle-class Americans, teachers, for example, or social media managers hired by other companies specifically to make TikToks for them. Love it or hate it, you can't deny TikTok's vast cultural impact. So many of the Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts that you've watched have come from TikTok. So many memes originated on TikTok. Let's not forget about my TikToks. And thanks to its Musical.ly background, no other app has a UI that's so integrally centered around music that the same way TikTok is. So many artists and songs have gotten popular because of the app. It's been the backbone of the music promotion industry for the last couple of years.
The algorithm disproportionately pushes trending audios. And because of TikTok's sheer cultural influence, these trends have affected the music industry in general, giving us Billboard #1 hits since the days of Say So and Old Town Road.
So even if you don't really use TikTok or you're one of its more casual users, it's more likely than not that TikTok has made an impact on you at some point in your life. So where are the displaced TikTok refugees gonna go? First off, the most hated TikTok alternative goes to Instagram Reels.
They would rather write their social security number on a post-it note and put it right on Xi Jinping's head than move over to Instagram Reels.
TikTok hates Instagram Reels. They don't like it. They don't like Meta. They don't like Mark. They don't like the vibes. It's also not directly monetizable through ads, so that doesn't give it any points either. All right, moving on to our other Chinese app alternative. I'm looking at you, Red Note.
We're taking away TikTok because the Chinese government having our data is a threat. And we, myself included, downloaded an even more Chinese app and went, here's our data.
The Red Note phenomenon is one that's best explained in Mandarin.
美国人对政府说，如果你禁止 TikTok， 我就再下载一个中国应用，哈哈。他们学习普通话，唱中文歌曲，结交中国朋友。他在应用商店中排名第1。现在我们可以定期与中国的中斗，并成为朋友了。
And that's all I have to say about Rendo. Honorable mentions go to Lemon8, Neptune, Flip, and Clapper so far, which have gained some traction, but honestly, most people are still waiting on a true replacement to TikTok. But in the meantime, we have YouTube. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, at first I was terrified of YouTube being flooded with TikTokers. But then I realized I wasn't seeing very many TikToks about YouTube Shorts. I was seeing a lot of posts about Lemon8, Flapper, Clipper, whatever, but no one was really talking about YouTube Shorts. I saw more posts, way more posts hating on Instagram than I saw even mentioning YouTube Shorts. I don't know what it is. Do you not like us? Do you think we're boring? Is something wrong with us? Are you intimidated? Do you know we have short form content here? TikTokers, I welcome you to YouTube. I welcome you to subscribe to my channel. No matter where the TikTok refugees go, the algorithm is going to be different. The platform is going to be different. It's not going to be easy for creators to transfer their content style or their audience. TikTok is, for the most part, a passive content consumption experience, and I'm sorry to say it, but it's hard for followers to form a real connection with TikTokers they watch.
I'm still posting videos like on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Well, I'll just like miss like scrolling on my For You page and like seeing your videos. Well, you can just like scroll on Instagram and see my videos. Like they'll still be there. No, but I'll miss you.
As we learned at VidCon, TikTok audiences are far from loyal.
This woman set up a meet and greet event. She's a TikTok star. She gave away bracelets and everything. She made him to give them out, but nobody showed up at all. This woman got 1.3 million followers, but nobody actually came to see her in person. So that obviously says something. TikTokers aren't actually real celebrities.
And that's going to apply to any short form video platform. It's hard to form a strong connection to someone who you only see 30-second clips of now and then. So will successful TikTokers be able to regain their followings on other platforms? Some of them will, and some of them won't. Even if you hate TikTok, especially if you hate TikTok, you should be rooting for TikTok to come back to keep the TikTokers off your social media platforms and stay on TikTok, away from you, where you can't see them.
Hey guys, just finishing up editing this video, and there has been so much that's happened ever since I started editing. So I'm gonna be doing, of course, a part 2. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to hear more about what's been going on with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Mr. Beast and Shou Zichu, of course, with who's gonna buy TikTok and what the future of the law for TikTok is. So I will hopefully see you in part 2.
Leave your thoughts, predictions, conspiracy theories, anything that you want to say in the comments, because we cannot be censored. We are not owned by Mark Zuckerberg. We are not owned by China. We are owned by Google, and Google won't censor us, right?